Just overall, what is your big takeaway from your first Daytona 500 experience?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the build up, the race, the whole week was pretty cool. First stage was good, and then second stage got checked up when Logano had his problem. But yeah, overall it was a pretty cool week.
You were top 5 here in the Xfinity race in the spring race last year. Just what did you learn most about that race, and can you really take anything from that for today, or is it just going to be a whole new ballgame?
Nah, the Xfinity race kind of single files out, whereas this sort of, it does a little bit at the front, but all the way through the pack it's sort of double file and a lot more aero problems, I guess. So yeah, looking at it, it's a lot more about car placement, being accurate, trying to keep air on the nose, and yeah, so sensitive to balance these cars are. So yeah, I tried to learn as much as I could watching other tape, and yeah, figure it out tomorrow.
Jumps out to you most about the way they reconfigured Atlanta and how it's starting to compare to other super speedways?
I have no idea what it was like before, sorry. Yeah, so I don't really know, but it seems pretty cool. It's just like a mini Daytona, I guess. Stuff happens a lot quicker, but yeah, I was never here beforehand, so I don't know.
What are your impressions of COTA? Kind of comparing it to some other tracks you've been to around the world and its abilities?
I like the track. It's pretty cool. I think the change they've done is really good with the second extension, or cut through, I guess. The one we did in supercars would be terrible in these cars, so they've made a good call there, but there'll probably be a bit of action, I think, the tight left-hander. But yeah, still, it's odd how we spend more time off the track than on it, but it's how it is here, and it looks pretty cool actually when the cars are all battling. But yeah, I look forward to getting there too.
Have you spent much time in Austin itself and kind of explored the city a little or anything?
A little bit, yeah. Like we had some Red Bull stuff there last year, and yeah, when we raced here 10 years ago or something in supercars, I looked around, but I try to behave myself now. Yeah.
You like the city though?
I'm not really a city person, but it's one of the better places we go to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, good.
You're likely going to be pinned as one of the favorites next week at COTA, but how important is it to get a great points day this week and just set up that momentum going into next weekend?
Well, I guess every week at this stage of the season you need to be scoring points, getting good results, and trying to stay out of trouble. So yeah, try get through this weekend with a good result, learn as much as I can, but obviously next week we're going to be shooting for a great result. Yeah.
Not that you worry about what other people think, but that you're looked at as a favorite. Like when you first came to Chicago, it's like, who is this guy? He's the underdog. To essentially go from an underdog to a favorite, I don't know how much you pay attention, but what does that mean? Or do you get a sense of how people look at you differently now?
Yeah, I missed that, going there and no one knows who I am. I could kind of fly under the radar and do my own thing. So obviously there's expectation now, but I'm pretty good at that myself, keeping that under control myself and just focus on my own thing. But yeah, hopefully it makes for some good racing though.
I think the expectation is, a lot of people look at it as like, hey, this is the road courses and COTA is a great opportunity for you to get a win, be playoff eligible. Is that how you look at it, or is that getting ahead of the process of putting yourself in position to win a race?
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting a bit deep for me. I don't really think like that, but yeah, I just want to be someone who you think of at an oval like that. I really want to get better at ovals and every week be a contender, not just 5 times a year. So that's kind of my focus. Yeah.
How will the course change? How might that impact things there?
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. I did like the long track, but I see why they shortened it. More times past the fans and more action, and the cut through that they've done, we don't lose any passing spots. The extra bit, there's only one real passing spot, so they've kept one with the cut through. So yeah, more laps as well. I think it's probably a good thing, a shorter track.
There's also more opportunities into turn 1. So how does that play out? Because that's
turn 1's only bad on restarts. I think as a racing corner, it's awesome. It's got so many passing opportunities, crisscrosses and everything, but on a restart it's a pretty stupid corner. But I think they made a good call last year with the restart zone. Obviously I didn't do the year before, but last year it kind of got a little bit more strung out than years before, I think. Yeah.
What's it like to watch that film from those turn 1s and experience that?
Well, I remember watching 23 race before Chicago, and trying to study what Kimi Räikkönen went through, and or Jordan Taylor, I think it was too, and it just looked like, what have I got myself into? So yeah, it looks like they've made a good change there now, I think.
Yeah. So after a couple of tries, Daytona, Talladega, all that, where do you stand on, I guess, super speedway racing and how different fuel savings, different aggression levels?
It's fun until it's not. You know, like I was, after I had some problems last week, I was kind of, you know, I'd get lapped every few laps and watch the action, and like it's pretty impressive as a fan. But being in it, you're like, that stuff at the end is just mayhem. You know, so I see the appeal to it. It is pretty cool. You know, the 3 wide stuff, and when you're sending it through there, but it can go wrong in an instant. And watching stuff like what happened last week, it's pretty full on.
And as far as this week goes, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but early on in the Xfinity, you did well finishing here, and then that kind of like set it moving forward into the season. I guess how do you approach it this week, making it like that rookie starting cup here?
Yeah, just hopefully learning again. You know, we've I guess we got a pretty big downforce set up on it compared to most. We're not that fast, but hopefully that helps us in the race, can move around, and just plan to as normal, get confident, and then, you know, learn to move around and see what my car's capable of. And, you know, tracks like these, when everyone's packed together, these cars are very sensitive to where you position them in the air. Like the dirty air in these cars is crazy. So I'm going to be learning pretty quick tomorrow, I think. Yeah.
How has, just in the short time you've been at this level, the other Cup drivers progressed in what they can do in terms of challenging you on the road course? Obviously, you know, I know the Xfinity race with last year Chicago with you and Kyle was just, the first stage was just unbelievable. But, you know, how you've seen these guys in a short time be so good, or how they've progressed?
I think they've always been good. I just had, I guess, the jump on them at Chicago. I had obviously a great car, great team, but I was used to the street circuits. But I know when I come back in Indy, you see when everyone knew the track, you know, the level everyone's at. But even at Watkins Glen last year, up the front most of the time, but the racing was epic, so close. And the guys here are just so talented. Like when you race every week, you're going to get so good at it. And how I just see the prep and the level here is just so high. So it's cool to race good guys on every style of track.
So are you looking at anybody else's data now, especially like road courses? Obviously ovals, I know you probably are, but for road courses, are you studying anybody? Or?
Yeah, everyone. I try and study everyone I can. Like after a practice or whatever, I go through all of it. And that's the problem with that SMT. You can get lost in watching what people do, because you can see everyone's stuff, but everyone's really doing it. All the good guys are doing it, so you have to.
Thank you.
Did you?
Shayna held it wide open better than you.
Yeah.
They got you by 200.
I'm slower in a straight line. You're very good.
I got my. I just got longer legs. I can push it further.
I was on the firewall.
I hear you. Did you watch the finish between Cam and Brock?
Nah, Justin texted me about it, but I'm a bit
wild.
I'm a bit tuned out of that world at the moment.
I was just curious. The way he just kind of like kept bumping him, and then got to his inside and drag raced.
I saw the highlights of it, and in my time there, that would have been a penalty, but
True.
I guess it's changed now, which is probably good.
Yeah. Cool.
How much of Zillich reminds you of yourself?
I don't know. Yeah, yes and no. It's hard to put into words. Everyone's unique, aren't they? So, but he's doing amazing with what he's doing. Yeah.